Hi, mathematicians. Today we're going to kind of solidify or really think hard about some math vocabulary words. Now, these words are ideas that you already know, but now I'm going to teach you the mathematical vocabulary word that goes along with the ideas that I know you already know. All right, so you're going to need your math vocabulary journal. It's the paper that looks, this is my completed one, which I'll go over in a minute, but it's that paper that looks like this, that has that space for the vocabulary word in the middle, and it has the description, the picture, related words, example, and then place for your own description. So if you don't have that, you're going to need it, okay? In the Seesaw activity, I did upload the template. So if for some reason you don't have that, which you all do, you all should anyway, then you can do it in Seesaw if you absolutely have to. But it's a lot better if you handwrite it. And then what I'll have you do is just take a photo of your completed paper and put it onto the Seesaw assignment. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right. So pause it if you need to go get it, because I'm going to start with the first one here. Okay. So the first word that I want us to start using as mathematicians is called an addend. Addend. Almost like a compound word here. Addend. It's the word add and the word end on there together. Addend. So everybody say addend. Addend. So description is the numbers being added together in an equation. So if I'm adding 5 little pieces of gum plus 4 little pieces of gum, and it's going to equal 9, that 5 pieces and the 4 pieces are my addends. Those are the things I'm adding together. Or if we think about it like a number bond, 13 and 12 composed together, or put together, is going to add into 25. So those numbers 13 and 12, those are the addends. Okay, those are the addends. Some related words would be the numbers that you add. It'd be parts. So you might remember like part, whole. The parts, and it can be more than 2. The parts are the addends. You might also think about it like decomposed. So if we have 25 and we decompose it, those parts that we decompose it into, those are the addends. Okay, and so you can see some examples here. 152 plus 10 equals 162. So those two numbers there would be the addends. Always remember, it doesn't matter. Like the sum or the answer could come first, and you could have the addends on that side. The key is that you would see that addition sign between the numbers. So here we have a 9 plus 1. You know that those are the parts that you're composing together, or those are the addends. Same with over here, 10 equals 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1. All of those numbers are addends. Those are the numbers we're adding together to figure out how much it would be when you compose it all. Okay, so you are going to definitely copy the description and the pictures. You can add more related words if any more pop in your head, or you can add different examples. You do the my description. Your assignment is not complete unless you write in your own words, how would you describe what the word addends means? So you write it on your own. What would you say for addends? Okay, that's the first one. The next word is sum. Sum, which is spelled S-U-M, so different than S-O-M-E. So the sum is the answer to an addition equation. And so what I did was I just took the same pictures from the other one, but now what they compose into, or like the whole, is the sum. So instead of putting these were the addends, I wrote the word sum and did a little arrow. Here's the sum, the 9, when you compose 5 and 4. And when I compose 13 and 12 and get 25, that 25 is the sum. So sometimes people call it the answer or the whole or compose. So when something is decomposed and then you bring it back together, what it composes into is the sum. And then again, same examples here, except for this time, we're just saying that the sum is what you get when you compose those numbers together. Okay, so again, you'll need to pause this video, copy what you see here, and then fill in the description on your own. So the description is your own words. How would you describe it? All right, so 2 ideas I know that you're familiar with, addends and sum. And this one's a little bit, might be a little more new to you, though I know you did do this in first grade as well. So the last one is called regrouping. And that word regrouping is pretty cool, actually, because it has what we call a prefix, R-E. You might see that prefix around a lot if you start looking for it. Like redo, if you're playing a game and you say redo, you have to do it over. Re means again, right? So regrouping just means like we're going to group the numbers in a different way. We're going to group them again. It's still going to equal the same amount. We're just making that number in a different way, right? So the description says making equal groups to help solve a problem. So sometimes it's easier if you group the numbers in a different way. Sometimes that actually makes it easier to solve the problem. So we worked on this last week, and we'll keep working on this week too. If you're thinking about adding and you've got tens and ones, and all of your tens, like over here or all the ones, I had 13 ones. So if I think of 13 ones, I can circle a group of 10 and regroup it to be a 10. So like one stuck together group of 10 instead of 10 ones. Sometimes that's just easier to work with, right? Or here, if I had 30, if I take that 10 and cross it out and make a new group that has 10 ones instead of a 10. Once we start doing subtraction this week more, sometimes you'll see that you have to decompose or break apart a 10 or regroup a 10 into ones to make that easier. So you can think of regrouping like composing. Like here, I compose because I took all those and I made a new group. Or decomposing, I took a 10 and I broke it apart into 10 ones. So composing, decomposing. Sometimes people call it carrying. You might hear your parents say like carrying. When you set a problem up like that, if you've ever seen that before, people often call it carrying. Or you might call it making tens. So some different examples. This is really all the same example. These are just the words, and then that would be the drawing that would go with it. So if I have 38, so 10, 20, 30, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I add 25 to it, 10, 20, well, there were 5 there, 5, and then I got more than 10 ones, so I circled just 10 of them, and then I crossed all those out, and then I made a new 10 instead. And that's what you see happening here. You wouldn't put a 1 and a 3 in the ones column, so you regroup it up top, and that represents this new 10 that you added there. So more on that to come, but just starting to think about that word regrouping. Go ahead and try your description of that as well. Got 3 new vocabulary words today. Today we'll practice writing them, and all this week we'll practice talking about them and using them in our work. All right, mathematicians, I hope this helps you to communicate better about your math and to explain your thinking.